So Joe Dumars held his preseason press conference yesterday, and ladies and gentlemen, you guys know I gotta chop everything up, and we gotta dissect what Polo General Joe was talking about. Pelican season is upon us. Is that a threat? I don't know, but we're gonna find out right now on the Pelican Scoop. Cue my music.
This is the Pelican Scoop with Jordan Kitchens, breaking down everything under the sun about your New Orleans Pelicans. Smash that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to stay on top of your Pels content. Now, running point, here's Jordan.
What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another edition of the Pelican Scoop. I am your host of the most, ladies and gentlemen, and we are here for season 2 of the Pelican Scoop. Yes, man, it's here. We finally finna start getting back more active with the uploads, starting getting back to our normal schedule during the season. And hey, man, this is gonna be a long video, so I'm not trying to do too much on the intro. But further and furthermost, you guys already know how we do this. I go ahead and watch the preseason press conference, and gather some clips for you guys to dissect. I don't need you guys to sit there and watch. I got you. I'm going to give you guys what you need to know. I'm going to give you guys everything that I feel like is important that Joe said. I have 10 clips. I don't know if I'm going to use all. Well, it's really like 8. It's really like 8. I really have 8 clips. I don't know if I'm going to use all of them, but I'm going to try and get through as much as possible. So we're going to start this bad boy off with Joe's pretty much his opening statement and basically what he's saying about the availability of Herb Jones and Trey Murphy. They're coming off labrum tears, and are they going to be available for the start of the season?
Yeah, so I can tell you about the guys who are on the court right now. I just walked them over, watching Herb, watching Trey go full speed. Those guys have been scrimmaging for the last 2-3 weeks, non-stop. I've seen those guys get knocked down, crash to the floor, everything. And so those guys have been back on the court in full speed for several weeks now. In terms of injuries to DeJounte and to Queen, those guys are deep into their rehab. Obviously, they're not back yet. I can't give a specific date right now for those guys, but they're really deep into their rehab. And my conversations with the medical here has been really good over the summer, just about the process that these guys have been going through. So no specific dates, but I can tell you that the rehab is going really well.
So they'll be ready for the season open?
Yeah, those guys are, like I said, they've been practicing full speed for the last several weeks now.
So Joe pretty much ends most of our little concerns about Trey and Herb. You already know there's going to be a season where you're going to need all hands on deck, and you didn't want to go into the season where 2 of your most important players are going to be on the bench or going to be sidelined. So Joe went into detail about how Trey and Herb for like the last month and some change, them boys been getting full scrimmages. They've been falling down, putting in a lot of work. From what Joe's saying, and I get it. You got to, and I hope you guys see what Polo Joe's wearing. You see, you got a polo on. I told y'all, if Joe Dumars is doing anything, go look at anything, any type of attire. His choice is Polo. So Polo Joe, as you can see, you can't take it everything what he's saying as he's still gonna say. He's still going to have the best interest of the company, basically. Like it's like HR. He's going to have the best interest of the company. He's not going to really tell us what we need to hear. But I feel like Joe's a little bit more truthful than what, Slimeball Griff was giving us in the past. So ladies, let us know that Herb and Trey, they should be ready to go. Queen is moving along, progressing with his rehab and coming back from his wrist, hand, whatever type of injury he suffered in the summer league. And to stay on Queen, this is what Joe Dumars basically said about his approach with Derek Queen, getting this injury and basically his plan at the Pelicans had in place for him.
What does it do to kind of help Derek to be ready to go once he's healthy enough to play and knowing that he's going to be missing some time coming back from this injury?
Yeah, so what we said to him is that your legs aren't broken. And so you can run. So he's so sick of running and riding the bike. I asked him, I said, you know who Lance Armstrong is? He said, I've heard the name before. I said, yeah, you're going to be Lance Armstrong here on this bike, man. And so he came back the next day like, I know who that is now. Yeah, you Google it. That's why So we pushed him about conditioning. Just you have to get in the best shape possible. And then he's right there watching every day. You can see over the last several weeks, like he's more and more anxious to get out there right now. But until he can get out there, what we've emphasized is just get your body in incredible shape. That'll help you catch up a lot quicker if you're in great shape.
And as you see, Joe is emphasizing with Queen and emphasizing, look, bro, you broke your hand. You still got 2 legs that work. Get your big behind on that court and get in shape. That is the best thing that can happen to you because when you come back, depending on how many games you miss, these guys are going to be playing in playing shape. So your legs and Queen, he's looked good. I saw a picture of him the other day. He was at the Ravens game. I said the other day, literally yesterday. He was at the Ravens game with Carmelo Anthony. He looks good. You know, it looks like he's been in shape. So, but coming from Joe's mouth, he's basically saying that all these guys have been in the gym working. All these guys have been here. So Queen, Fears. I mean, he's going to mention later on that they had to kick Fears out the gym. They had to kick Fears out the gym because this kid has just been in the gym too much, and like, bro, you're gonna burn your legs out. Like we had to sit Fears down a little bit. So, but it's good to see that they have a plan in place, you know, to keep him in shape. It's already Derek Queen doesn't have the best body type. Everybody talking about he's sloppy all the, you know. I mean, if you want to get it from anybody's mouth, they act like Derek Queen is just some human sloth. He's just a human garbage disposal. He's the worst NBA player of all time. Like, that's just the word around Derek Queen, and this guy stinks. But you know how I am. I'm a Derek Queen truther. I want Derek Queen to succeed damn near more than I want this damn channel to succeed. So drop a like, drop a like for your boy. If you made it this far in the video, drop a like, it can help the algorithm, get me back and go on. But speaking of being out of shape and working, Joe then proceeds to talk about Zion Williamson. No, I'm just playing. I ain't saying, but he ain't say Zion, but y'all know. So he spoke about Zion Williamson and basically what are Zion's expectations for this season. In a season where you need Zion, like this, none of this matters. I already explained this many, and I'm going to say it in every video. Y'all know I'm going to say what y'all already know what I'm going to say, but there's still some new people here. If your best player is not playing over 65 games, if Zion does not play over 65 games this year, you can nip it in the bud. It does not matter. None of this matters. None of these videos matter. None of this matters. So Joe Dumars went and spoke to Zion about what his expectations for, especially leadership-wise and accountability, something Slimeball Griff knows nothing about.
What have the conversations been with him as far as like what are the expectations this year as far as on the court and off?
Yeah, the main thing that I've talked to Zion about is just responsibility and accountability. I said, what I've said to him is, with greatness comes responsibility. You don't get to be great and not responsible. And so there's just been a heavy emphasis on that, just being accountable and responsible for what you do. It's not enough just to be talented. And I've said to him, I said, look, there's a difference between talent and great. Those are two different things. You can be talented without any responsibility. You can't be great without any responsibility. You just can't. That's not what greatness is. And so let's just make sure that we are responsible and accountable. And I can tell you, he's been great. Zion has been great. I've not had any issues with him. He's been working extremely hard. I see him probably for the last month in and out of the practice facility, really pushing himself hard. So I have been happy with him this summer. But still, at the end of the day, man, you got to be responsible and accountable for everything you do.
So look, and I think Polo Joe nails it on the head, man. I mean, he hit him with the Spider-Man, great power comes great responsibility. He hit him with that, all right? he hit him with the Spider-Man, but damn, I mean, it's true. You got to step up. This is your team. This is your time. You got to be held accountable. You know what the expectations are. We know. This is what they are. These are what Joe Dumars is trying to instill in this basketball team, some accountability, hold people accountable. And that's basically the number one thing he's coming and done. Right hand up. I was not a fan of the Joe Dumars hire, but now what is going on, I'm seeing. But I don't know, he might have lost me with this because we're talking about expectations. You heard what he said, his expectations for Zion. So in the season where you traded your first-round pick next year and they asked him, what is the expectations for this season? This is what Polo Joe had to say, and I don't know.
Flattering, but through your eyes, what are your realistic expectations for a season? Like, what would entail a good season?
So I told you I had a meeting with the coaches at 9 o'clock this morning. I said to them, like, look, let me set the expectations for you guys right now so there's no misunderstanding. I said there's no amount of wins. There's no you got to make the play in. You got to make the play. None of that. I said what I expect from us is to be like a high competing team every night. And I said, guys, let me tell you specifically why I say that. If you have a really deep team, if you have 10, 11 guys that you can go to, and they all play hard every night because we're so deep, I said the wins will take care of themselves. I don't know what that'll be, but if we play as hard as we can play every night, we're going to get enough wins where we're going to be happy. So I'm not going to put a number on you because I don't know what that is, but I expect our team to play hard every night. I expect no less, and I will accept no less from that. And so that's exactly what I just said to the coaches at 9 o'clock this morning. I said, so if you coaches are wondering what do I expect, I just told you. Like I don't want to see a team that plays half speed. We should never sit here, accept, and watch a team that doesn't go all out. That's exactly what I expect from this team this year.
First off, can somebody please pass Polo Joe a tum or something? Can we please? My boy, he's fighting. Somebody ate some lasagna, some spaghetti or something like that. He's fighting that gastric. He keep doing that, man. Can somebody pass my boy a tum? Can somebody burp him, please? But you kind of lost me a little bit with that one, Joe. I mean, I get it, right? You don't want to burden anybody with, I didn't say burden. You don't want to put a number out there. Like, you need this amount of wins or whatnot. I get that. You want the team to play hard every damn night. I get it. I truly get it. I'm not going to act obtuse to what he's saying and try hard to not understand what he's saying. But from my perspective, like I said, I'm outside looking in. I'm just a guy that runs a Pelicans page, and I'm just Jordan Kitchens. But from Jordan Kitchens' perspective and a lot of people's perspective is, no, bro, this needs to be a playoff team. Like, no, I think you do need to put a little bit of fire under their feet. Like, yo, like this has to get accomplished. You're putting a team believing and playing hard every night into Silly Willy hands. I just don't know if Silly Willy got the hands to catch that. Now, he's looking kind of Nelson Aguilar-ish. If you watch football, you know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. It ain't really, he's like Derrick Henry right now, just fumbling the ball. Can Silly Willy hold on to the rock? I don't know that. Can Silly Willy, is he the guy that in place that can instill that this team's going to play hard every damn night, balls to the wall? Because that's what Joe Dumars wants. Is Willie that coach? Is he? I can't say that. And then to say that isn't, you're not expecting like you just want them to play hard and set that, establish that, yeah, you got to crawl before you can walk. But brother, this team got to make the playoffs. Playing, I don't give a damn. They got to. You cannot surrender a top 10 pick to the Atlanta Hawks. So then Joe talks about that, because I think this might have been Will Guillory that asked him this question. I don't know who asked him this question. It sounded like Will Guillory. So he's like, well, you traded that first round pick in the draft. You don't think that kind of sends a message to the team that this is what you want? And this is what Joe Dumars had to say about that.
Expectations question. When you make a trade like you guys did on draft night, do you think that kind of sends the message we expect to be a playoff team when you give away your first round pick the following season?
No, I'm just trying to build a deep team. Like I just said, I've not put that expectation on anyone. I expect us to be competitive every night. Before you can get to playoffs, before you can get to an amount of wins, the first thing you have to establish is, man, we compete hard every single night. Before you can start talking about numbers and play-in and playoff, if you don't establish that in your building first, you're just talking. You're just talking. You're just giving quotes out at that point. So for me, it's a process of establishing a hard, competitive playing team every night, and then we'll get to the wins and losses. That would be made a trade or didn't make a trade. I'd be saying the same thing here. So the trade is inconsequential to the belief of what I'm talking about. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not. It wasn't like, okay, we made this trade, I expect to make the playoffs. That's short-sighted to me. You got to build something deeper than that.
And again, I do see both sides right here. I'm not trying to see, but literally, because he's right. If you're just saying these things and not really putting stuff into action, you're just talking, right? Anybody can go up there and be like, yeah, I think we're going to be a top 6 seed in the West until this team actually does it. So I get that. He wants to see what this team is going to become. He wants them to play hard and he wants to do this. He's saying, like, I haven't put any of these expectations out there. And he tried to make just build a deep roster. I just got to see, because I do have questions about the depth. I do have a lot of questions about the depth, but you can't sit there and be like, yeah, we gave up this first round pick next year and we don't expect to make the playoffs this year. So I don't know. Y'all let me know down in the comments, please. Express yourselves in the comments. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here to build, a community where we can just talk, like, keep the BS the BS. Let's keep the main thing the main thing. So y'all let me know, because this is a part where you kind of lost me a little bit, but I get it a little bit, Joe. But like I said, y'all see it differently or whatever, please let me know down in the comments right now. But speaking of depth and, getting guys and trying to mix the rookies with the vets. So this is what Joe Dumars basically had to say about, what's the training been like lately? He's been pairing up some of these young rookies with some of these vets. Like, he's been pairing up Jeremiah Fears with Jordan Poole, showing him how he can work, and DeJounte Murray, even though he isn't come back for the foreseeable future, and Derek Queen with Kevon Looney, and PV with I think he said Sadiq Bey. So this is what Joe Dumars had to say about mixing and getting the young guys going with some of the vets.
Yeah, those are the guys. So what we've done with a lot of those guys is we're making sure that For instance, I just left, and Peavy was working out with Sadiq Bey. Fears working out with Jordan Poole. When Queen is finally getting back on the court, he's with Kevon Looney. With these young guys, you got to put that veteran experience in front of them. I can sit and talk to them all day long. Need to do this, need to do that, need to do this. But they need to see it on the court. And they need to see it from veteran guys on the court. And that's what we do with the young guys. Like, we pair them with vets who really know how to work. If you see Sadiq Bey work, Peavy working out with him has no choice but to work at that pace. Like, because these veteran guys, they know how to go. Looney goes extremely hard in his workout. So when Queen is with him, you can't go half speed and the vet guy is going all out. And so that's how you get those guys up to speed. You can talk to them. It's overrated sometimes. I mean, I can sit here and talk to them till I'm blue in the face, but they need to get out there and do it and see it. And to your point about organically, that's what I'm talking about. Put them out there. You don't have to say anything. All of a sudden, you'll see the young guys working at the same pace as the veteran guys.
And that right there is 100% why you bring in veterans to mix in with these guys. That's 100% why you bring in guys like Kevon Looney, Sadiq Bey. When you're trying to instill a type of culture and type of dog mentality that Joe Dumars wants to bring, those are guys you can bring in. Those are guys that are leaders, especially Kevon Looney. Like, if y'all remember my Kevon Looney video I made when they announced the signing, a thing I like to do is I like to go look at opposing, like, players that are leaving their former teams and going to a new team. I like to see what the comments, when they make the Instagram post or like the last Instagram post. People are going to comment every time. And if the comments, good or bad, like DeJounte Murray, I had questions about him because a lot of Hawks fans, a lot of Spurs fans were on him. And, we kind of see what's going on right now. Looney, on the other hand, I mean, it was just nothing but praise. I mean, I did not see, I'm scrolling, bro. I'm scrolling. Nothing but love. I'm talking about from the former players. I'm talking about just straight in the Warriors. Love Looney. So he's a guy that's a leader that's going to come in and it's going to be a good guy for Queen. That maybe even Zion too. Some of that can rub off on Zion, but I do understand why you bring in guys like that. Guys like that are going to play an important role for the development of Fears and Queen. But speaking of Fears, and I spoke about it earlier, this is what Joe Dumars basically had to say about them having to kick Fears out the gym. He's been in there too much where, like, you got to cool down, young brother. You got to cool down. So what's Joe Dumars had to say about that?
But quite frankly, I can say that we have several guys like that. Fears is like that. We had to stop him from coming into the gym for a while, because his legs were just getting so sore and heavy. Like, I know you're 18, but man, you got to rest, man. You got to rest at night sometimes, because he's working out super hard in the morning and then he's coming back at night. And we have at least half dozen, 6, 7, 8 guys that have been doing that every day for the last month. They come in the morning, they back at night, morning, night. And Poole is one of those guys since he's been here who does that.
And you love to see it. You love to hear it. You love it. That's what you've been needing. That's the type of guy you've been needing. You need a young guy like this that loves basketball. All he wants to do is play basketball. It's too much shenanigans that have been going on, preferably by somebody in a high position on the team. But now we don't need that rubbing off on the young cats. We need this guy is a gym rat. And I do like this. We're gonna end this off with this. This is the last clip, and probably have a little discussion after this. Joe Dumars basically spoke about how Jeremiah Fears, how they're gonna put the ball in his hands. I don't mean like that's the offense, but like they're gonna give him as much rope as he wants to basically bleep him, hang himself. I don't know if I can say that, whatever, hang himself. And I'm saying that in a bad way. Like, they're gonna bring him along, basically how they did Misi last year. We're gonna see if you can do. If you can swim, then you're gonna play. But if not, then we're gonna bring you along slowly. So he wants Fears to have just an open palette. Draw what you want to draw. If it's a good drawing, we're gonna give you more. If it's, we got some things we got to work on. So this is Joe Dumars basically had to say, and I love this, honestly.
The conversation with Fears has been, look, you'll determine how your rookie year goes. I won't, the coach won't, you will. You'll have every opportunity to establish yourself and show what you can do early on. And you'll show that you're either ready for it or you're not. And so I can't do that for you. The coach can't do that for you. There's only one person. You step on the court and you show it. And if you're ready, we're going to roll with you. If you're not, we're going to bring you along at your pace, the pace that you need. And I think that's the fair way with every player. When a player comes into training camp, when you're a player and you come into training camp, that's really all you want to hear. Like, I just want to know I have a fair shot to compete. And so that's what we do here with everybody. Like, you can't take that away from a player when he's coming in a training camp where he doesn't feel like whatever he does, it doesn't matter. Like you just don't want to do that. And so with Fears, that's exactly what we've done. Like you'll dictate what happens here.
And honestly, this might have been my favorite thing that Joe probably said. A couple things, but I really enjoyed this because this is exactly what we wanted to hear. We didn't want to hear that. They're gonna bring Fears along slowly. Just buried, and he's got to wait at the Jose and Hawkins, like all these other pieces. And it's like, and I kind of understand why you're bringing a Joe Dumars. He's got that old school, black dad, your grandpa, your uncle, just a father figure approach. Like, look, bro, I'm gonna give you the keys to the car, right? Don't do nothing stupid. Now you do something stupid, you give me a reason to take things away from you. Now you be good, and you handle your business and you do these things. I'm gonna look out for you. I'm gonna throw your bone here and there. That's the type of what I'm getting from Joe. He's like, look, bro, I'm gonna let you know, and he's right. That's exactly what Fears wants. That he has a fair shot to play. He's got a fair shot. You don't draft this kid top 10 just to redshirt him and to do all this. Like, no, he's got to play, bro. It's the NBA, bro. It's not the NFL. Like, he's got to play. I'm not sitting there saying that Fears got to be a starting point guard by March, but on the Pelicans, they ain't got no wood over here. Pretend I'm knocking on. There got to be wood in his seat. Knock on wood, that he's not from injury wise, that he is like playing. Show us what you got. If you can hang, we're gonna play you. If if you're struggling a little bit, it ain't the end of the world. We just gonna bring you along slowly, and that's fine. It's a fair shot. So Fears going to determine what Fears wants to determine. It's all up to him. And he's and you can tell he's been putting work in. The kid, from what I've seen from Fears, man, he's either in the gym or he's on TikTok live playing 2K or something in the crib. Like he's a young kid. Like he basketball game. Like he ain't doing much. So you love to see that. But y'all let me know down in the comments what do you guys think. Feel free. We're here to have a discussion. We're here to kick this year off. Let me know what you guys think about what Joe said, what you think about the clips, just anything, man, anything. We just trying to get this bad boy back rolling. We're going to get back right. The season's right around the corner. Finally, just going to take it one step at a time. It's the Pelicans. They are the bad news bears. So you just got to take it one step at a time. But I'd be lying if I didn't say, I feel a little bit better about the team. And, hearing that all the guys have been in the gym, even Zion, he's been in the gym. At the facility, like he's been here. It's good to hear that. He's trying to build a camaraderie. He's trying to build that up. The boys. And he said them boys been practicing for about a month. But this is not even before training, like before training camp. Like they put in work before, like real work in team chemistry, building that team chemistry, understanding what spot you like, and at this spot we want Trey right here on the wing, and put this guy in this corner. Just figuring all those things out that are going to be important. So when it's go time, when live bullets is flying, you're ready to go. So, like I said, y'all let me know down in the comments, man. I've been your host, the most Jordan Kitchens, man. God help us. God help the Pelicans. But I'm signing out. Peace.